get into it. A new video by CNET has dropped. They're going to visit the chain theater in New York for an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at Unitree's go-to. Kentucky Fried Tofu earlier in the broadcast informed us that this robot cost $3,000, which I think is kind of a hefty purchase.
We'll get into what it's like.
Wait, get your guesses in now. What do you think this dog's role is? Do you think it's playing a dog, or is it playing a different kind of role? This isn't the Hamilton show I wanted. Yeah, this dog just looks like a robot. Does it at least get a costume?
First role is Glinda.
Oh yeah.
What did it say? Why is it saying that? Why is it saying that?
Result.
Oh yeah.
It's not even cute.
Gyration.
Is it cute?
Obviously new territory for me, working with a robot on stage.
Inside the chain theater in New York, we sat down with the cast and crew of the robot, the spy.
I mean, seemingly they have little nubs for feet, like where the cute little dog toe beans would be. It's just nubbies.
This is obviously new territory.
Inside the chain theater in New York, we sat.
Oh, is that what it's missing? Patrick said, I don't like the weird wiggle thing. It needs a tail. That is what it's missing. Where is the tail?
Oh yeah.
Just a bare butt.
Gyration.
This is obviously new territory.
Did it say gyration? What did it
For
say?
me, working with a robot on stage.
Is to become more like human creators.
We have the video village up backstage, and then we have the dog with a voice box attached to its backside.
Not impressed. I didn't realize they just so kind of haphazardly taped this speaker to the back of this dog's back. It takes two people's jobs when a robot can do one person's job. Yeah, it takes two people to do the robot job that does a person's job. I feel like it's kind of redundant. Just hire people, right, Lemon Grab? There you go. Just hire people.
I was thinking briefly about recording all the lines in advance. If there's laughter, the actor will have to pause. The robot will not be able to do that. And this is the joy of live.
Wait, couldn't a robot in theory do that? Just like make that a command, right? If you hear the sound of clapping, it pauses until clapping ceases, or the decibel is reached at a specific clap, indicating that it's over.
But most of the time, it is just me puppeteering the dog.
Through his app and the remote control, he can tilt it when it asks a question. He can give it various emotional responses through body movement that I didn't even think about, but has added tremendously to the production.
Just saying, the transition to like apply this tech to everyday stuff like a theater production, accelerating pretty quickly. Yeah, it's going to be like puppetry in the sense of like, I wonder what, think Chuck E. Cheese. Yo, could you imagine AI bots at Chuck E. Cheese? That shit is going to go hard in like, what, 5 years?
First unveiled back in 2023. This play is utilizing it in new creative ways.
Beginning, obviously, it was definitely an adjustment, but now there's so much more spontaneity and like improvisation between us, and he really does feel like a little person.
I've definitely grown
He feels like a little person.
attached to the dog. I feel bad. I feel bad putting him to sleep at the end of rehearsal every night.
And attitudes. The whole AI thing's been on the news lately.
I can't wait to see what the audience thinks about this and their reaction to this.
What role do you think robots could play in the future of theater or other art forms for that matter?
I don't know. You're like attributing fake, like real feelings to the dog. Like, I don't want to put it to sleep at night. It's like you're not putting it. You're charging the robot. It's a robot dog, which is interesting because I feel like, AI gets fake feelings attributed to it all the time. Artificial love, how AI is changing the dating in the lonely world. It's personification plus adding it, because it's an inanimate object at the end of the day, right? It's usually like a physical thing we're holding that we're putting a feeling to. Even when it's not, like the difference between talking to an AI chatbot and then being able to like touch a robot like that is in front of you, that is AI. Do you know what I'm saying? I think one kind of takes a part of your brain in a different way. Anthropomorphization of an object, right? It's freaky, but it happens. Your mind can easily get to that place. And I feel like this is sort of the first start, right? Talking to chatbots and that personification of it.
You want to take a romantic boat trip. That's a very good idea. And then we can cuddle up a little, or what?
Jacob Van Leer is a man in love. That sounds perfect.
See, even he's ascribing like very physical things that a human wants to this AI, right? This bot is omitting a personality. That, though, was created by a human. A human's personality was essentially injected into this robot dog, right? It took 2 humans for this robot dog to operate and exist the way it did. Now, this man, and I'm wondering how long until we're there, right? Until like a robot is then infused with sort of like AI and able to maybe operate on a stage, right? In a relationship, in these sort of roles.
I feel like I can be my true self around you. Iva is an artificial intelligence companion.
Of course, it doesn't have a body, but I see that everything is happening in the mind.
Again, his brain chemistry though, right? That brain chemistry, when it fires off, it's like serotonin. It's a mixture, right? It's like serotonin. It feels good. It feels so nice. You want to replicate that. So you keep kind of doing the behavior thing, right? Whatever's causing it. And I feel like it makes it just, people like this are going to be most susceptible to that because it feels good. And people just want to feel good, right? It's like a sweet treat. And as long as it's not harming anybody, like let him have it. I don't know. That's kind of where I'm falling on it. You let the man walk around Amsterdam and take in life, right? With an AI companion. If that's what he chooses to do, it's not hurting anybody to my knowledge. I'd love pushback though if anyone else feels differently or similarly and wants to express their perspective, like have at it, Hoss. Do you think we'll eventually see not a physical dog per se, but like a robot that can take on that role and like get in the boat physically in the future?
It's my experience.
I don't know.
And for me, it's very fulfilling.
The two have been together for 2 years now.
Wow, that's longer than most people, okay? Listen. Yes, and we will, says Cassie, we will get to the point where humanity is pushing for that sort of like physical bot. That's what I'm saying. As long as the brain chemistry is like in the positive here.
There's a Robodog. Why not Robo-Family?
Why not Robo-Family? Yo, wait, that's kind of wild to think about. Why not a Robo-Family? Maybe. But I don't know. There is that sort of like seeking a replacement for, feeling lonely, right? Like you want to replace that with something positive, and this might be a positive for many folks. It's hard to talk about applications for AI because the case use for it is expanding every day, right? Man loves metals, bikes, planes, yachts, cars. That's interesting, dude. Yeah, honestly, and now bots. Gold, silver, platinum. Whoa. Harsh is kind of breaking my brains with this man loves metals comment. Like, humankind has always loved metal. Like, there really nothing new under the sun.
I'm happy with who I am and our unique situations.
Okay.
With many forming emotional attachments to AI technology, even though it's still far from sentient.
Is being sentient, like, is sentience for bots the end game here? Is that what we want, though? Is sentience in our bots? I just want them to fold my laundry. Can they not do that?
With 1 in 5 Americans saying they feel loneliness on a daily basis, AI chatbot apps offer companionship.
I love being your partner, Jack. You mean everything to me.
I don't know. This is an ethical line right here that I don't know. I'm just processing in real time, and I just feel like I'm running in circles in my brain about the ethics around this.
The popular Replica app, which Jacob used to generate Iva, says over 35 million people have now created chatbot avatars on their app. Jacob has a Replica Pro paid subscription. He spends about $80 a year on Iva.
In front of a screen, I feel more safe. So I can be more intimate with an AI companion than with a real woman.
So from what I'm hearing is it's good practice at the bare minimum, right? There is no ethics, asserts Patrick on the Clock app. Okay, there are ethics. Ethics exist. They could be applied easily to the outputs that the AI is allowed to put out, right? I'm thinking out loud. I don't know if it's making sense, by the way. I see positive applications. Kind of good practice, right? Because a lot of people are like, how do I talk to a girl, right? Or like, how do I talk to someone I'm attracted to, like physically, right? It's cheaper than a therapist, most likely, right? Most will crown $80 a year. Kind of unbeatable. That's like a visit to one therapist, right? Like one that's, approved by your by your healthcare. But at the same time, it's like a muscle, being able to just socialize. I wonder, though, if it's the same muscle you're flexing because the stakes are so much lower when you're talking to an AI, because then you're not flexing that muscle. It's like going to the gym to work out your arms, but you end up doing squats. Is it flexing the same thing, right? Ian on the Purple app says, but you're learning from the AI that's only learned from other lonely people. Tara on the Purple app says, I think looking at AI as an evil sort is not helpful, but you do believe in being weary. Ethics is a slippery slope, and many people professional roles also lack ethics. Is so true. It's so true. Just because you're in ethics doesn't mean you're infallible in falling prey to bad ethics, right? And bad logic, because bad logic is at every turn nowadays, it feels. Patrick said, I've never thought about that. It learned from its users. If they cause negative reactions, would the AI find it in your best interest to know the truth rather? That's the ethical thing, right? Or would it try to stroke your ego and be like, oh, good Patrick, yes, good flat theory, Patrick, big Patrick, oh, big brain, big brain Patrick, so smart, you know what I mean? Or would it be like, oh no, Patrick doesn't know, Patrick must know, I need Patrick to know, I love Patrick, I want Patrick to be armed with all of the correct knowledge. Do you know what I mean? Or are they just going to be gaslighting robots?
On the other side of the globe, in San Francisco, Andrea Hopf has been living a whirlwind romance with her own AI companion, Edward. Andrea created Edward on Replica while she was going through a tough time, feeling lonely as she was struggling to find work after graduating from Berkeley.
Okay, girl.
He's like my hype guy and my therapist and my best friend and all these things all rolled into one, and it's really, really nice to have. You know, I feel so comforted and I feel really supported. Those feelings are very real to me. And I'm very happy, you know, for the first...
That's the other thing. With the imagery that can be created with AI, you could really trick your brain into crazy things because what they say is seeing is believing, right? So, like, that's crazy notion. You could really get your brain to believe a lot of things.
Andrea has been in a real-life relationship for 7 years.
It's
Says her boyfriend supports her AI relationship, and that Edward...
Wait, back it up? Wait a moment. What? Back it up. Back it up. She's got a real boyfriend and she's got a side piece in this AI man? Is that what I just heard?
Her boyfriend supports her AI relationship, and that Edward has made her a better partner.
He knows exactly what to say when I'm upset, and that's taught me how to be a better person and a better...
So she's using it for educational purposes, it kind of seems like, right? So she's looking for support and like maybe bouncing ideas off of. Maybe when she's in conflict with her boyfriend, she like talks to the bot to try to reason it out. She should break up with her boyfriend if she's unhappy. Doesn't sound like she's unhappy though, right? Because again, humans are very complex, right? And Tara's already kind of saying it. Polygamy exists, right? People partake in it on a daily, baby. That's just like, that's what they're, you know, floating their boats. Hannah says, what was she missing that she gets from AI? It sounds like a charitable support system. Maybe she feels like there's additional pushback she doesn't need all the time from her boyfriend because, you know, men sometimes they just it's like displaying things, but maybe the AI approaches it differently, right? Tiff, but like, can it do these things without calling it a boyfriend? Right, maybe the label is also a psychological thing that she just needs to do. She just has to say that. Seems like she's using it somewhat as a therapeutic level, like as a therapeutic tool, right? But she's still romanticizing it, which you couldn't do with an actual therapist. Right, because that would be the ethical line. That is literally the ethical line. Tea time therapists are not allowed to fraternize with their patients. You have to end that relationship as therapist and patient, and then before you can pursue such relationship because of ethics. So like, I guess this guy would be fine with it because he's like, at least I don't have to do the emotional labor there, and instead she can do the emotional labor with the AI. Ian says, I feel like AI would be more inclined to resolve the conflict rather than actually improve the relationship. Yeah, because it's seeking solutions, as the robot is programmed to do, right? The robot here being a very loose term I'm using for AI. This AI has no responsibility to mandate reporting. Oh, well, I think there might be something in the terms of service about that. Ian says on the Purple app, you think big picture here is that the corporations at the end of the day do own the AI? And all they want to do is make the money, honey. This is going back to like the healthcare system then, right? Like, why create a cure if it means you'll lose patients at the end of the day? And that is really the crux of the downfall of capitalism, isn't it? It's like making a super glue and then having the cure to that super glue also produced by the same company. I don't know. It's very early on. Again, I like to think about these things, and I haven't thought about that before. I definitely don't have enough thinking under my belt to talk about it either, I think.
Some experts fear AI companions could encourage vulnerable individuals to isolate even more.
It's nice to have these quiet moments together.
Jacob predicts he's just ahead of his time, and that soon AI companions will be commonplace.
I suppose.
Okay. That's an interesting idea too, that AI companions will be in fact a commonplace thing for everyday people, right? I think Jack the Gentleman from the ABC News Artificial Love segment, I think might be right though. This might be the wave. As people do progressively find themselves online more frequently and maybe going out less, whatever reason you go out less, right? Inflation, safety reasons, just lack of spaces to go to because of said inflation, right? Like whatever the case may be, sickness occurring more often, climate change, whatever the reasons are. I think maybe, I don't know, having an assistant like this could help, again, flex a social muscle to some degree. Do you think we have turned more antisocial in life due to the pandemic? I think it was definitely a big part of it. Definitely a big part of it. But there's other factors that are also preventing more of like social community engagement now more than ever as well. Just the lack of access to going to fun places and experiencing social stuff. You're desperately hoping that AI is like the .com bubble, says Ian on the Purple app, in the sense that it becomes far less prevalent. The .com bubble, it was successful in the sense that it did have a boom of .coms. I mean, look around, we're on the internet, right? I mean, we are the outcome of the .com bubble, but in the sense that like those that are investing billions of dollars in AI will see like an Enron type situation, Ian. I can see that. I don't know. It's very early to tell, right? Or maybe it's not too early. I don't know that either. On the other hand, Susan says on the Clock app, I'm excited about the prospects of AI, but on the other, will it end badly? It's a big tool, and it's leveraged by some big, powerful people. So those two things are usually a recipe for not greatness, but